Bottom to the Top Hoops, what we like to do is we like to basically put you on to what's going on. Creating highlight reels, what we are setting the platform up for. Kids that are not on the radar, where we can give them a look and get them a look, all right? And log on to that bottomtothetop.hoops.com.
There's always got to be trendsetters and groundbreakers, and I think you guys have definitely proven yourself to be that. So this is just another step in doing something that's going to be, you know, forward thinking.
I mean, as I said, I've known Munch and Justin and Dre and all those guys, not just through basketball. Like, I've known Munch 18, like 18 years old. Justin I've known since I was 13.
Right.
Dre I've known since he was 11. And one of the things we've always done is kind of challenge each other, right? In a respectful way of just trying to like kind of push the envelope to make it say better. Like, there's no other group of guys that I trust to tell me no than these guys. Who like, even if I want to do something or think about something, like if they tell me no or I tell them no, they can trust that I'm doing it for a particular reason. I say that to say is that from the basketball perspective we were talking about as far as like it's so splintered that the real resolution is to consolidate. And I'm not saying absorb into
That's
like
big.
I'm gonna take this program and say and force my brand on them. Whatever.
That's what New York City once was.
It's like you have to consolidate in terms of resources and ways, so everybody can have their particular lane, but not everybody's grounded in the same why. If you don't ground each other in the same why, then you have 19 different organizations say, I'm gonna be the one to bring New York back. But what you say it all the time, we have to bring New York back. The only way to do that is to consolidate, and not in terms of resources, but working together to go forward that mission. Business-wise, it happens all the time, right? Toyota and Lexus are the same company, but they work under the same umbrella and have the same why, and they have the function to make the whole company.
But on the outside,
it looks
we look at, okay, Toyota sales are this, Lexus sales are this. They look like competing brands.
They look like they
People
don't
do that now.
They look like a
Daddy
brand on a different level.
But listen, yes, but it's marketed and positioned that way. You know, and I talk to guys, do we really understand that Mike Krzyzewski and Jim Boeheim are going after the same kids, but they're going to lunch.
Yeah,
they're talking to each other. I can't get this kid, man. He's not a warm weather kid, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna talk to his people because I got to end with them, and I'm gonna send them to you. So I think those kind of conversations, and you know, there's so much history that needs to be salvaged, and there's so much communication that has to happen to get it to the point where it's functioning at a level where I think we can actually work together. And one of the things is, because of the platform, and I want to get you guys' insight on this. You're a Nike program. We have 3 of them in New York City. We have 1 right over in Jersey. We have Adidas with Riverside now. How do we get our kids to be on a platform, and this is just my opinion, we have to find a way to compete against each other. Now, that's my opinion. Now, with that being said, it could be counterproductive to what you're doing to compete against these teams in a Golden Hoops type of atmosphere. But what it does for the city in general, and you know you and I have had these conversations, all right, is it allows people to say, these kids that may not be going to school in the city, these are our kids at their best in one arena where you can see 8 really good programs with 6 Division I players apiece under one umbrella. And listen, you know, for me, that's nothing but a, you know what I mean? I can put that all together, but I wanted to get your take on why you think those things are not happening. Is it possible? Is it something that's far-fetched?
Competition can get the best of people.
Yep.
And I think before you jump into the competition, you got to know who you are as people. And with us, we know who we are. One, as adults, men, and then also as a program. So it might be kid A and kid B, but we don't even spend time going after kid A because we know that's not who we are. That doesn't, that kid can't go through the rigors that kid B can go through. So as long as, once programs know who they are, once families know who they are and they know what they're looking for, they should be able to figure out which program to end up in. But they don't, I don't know if people do enough research on the programs, right? Outside of going to someone's website. Like, you need to really sit down and have conversations and know what you're looking for first and foremost, right?
That's why
you're looking for
turnover is so
development, right? Development is huge. You're looking for playing time, Are you looking for production? Are you looking for camps? There's so many things that in this world, AAU, everyone's looking for so much. But I think you just got to get to the point where, like, Jay David knows what a New York Jayhawk kid looks like. Right. Dana knows what a New York Lightning looks like. Andy Borman knows what a Ren's kid look like. And if they just respect their lane, they'll get more kids that fit them quicker, as opposed to chasing the kid that looked like a PSA kid. He's not going to make it in your program. That's why I don't chase a kid that I think, oh, that's really a Lightning kid. Right. Just stay away from him. It's okay. He's a good basketball player, but he fits what they want to do. Right. And knowing your style of play comes in handy, right? If you want to fly up and down and shoot a bunch of shots, and that's your style, up-tempo, then there's a place for you. Right. But that may not be with you. It might not be with us, right? We might be, hey, man, we producing pros, but we want to guard. Right. Right? Because everything with us could, and I'm saying other programs are not, is predicated on the future. We don't just do stuff just to win the game now. We're doing stuff to make sure that you're ready when you get to being a freshman at your prospective university. So that's our style. Right? That's our structure. That's how we operate. As close as we want to be to college, that's what we're providing. And for some people, that's hurrah, I'm with you. For some people, it's learning as you go up in age. For some people, it's just, I'm not coming through that door because I heard that you guys take the cell phones for the weekend. Sorry, that's what we do.
You guys have talked individually about development. And so as PSA stands here as a sponsored New York City Nike program who's developing pros, high-level college players, you know, sending kids to all great high schools across the country, where are you guys in terms of your development, and what do you see as the potential of what other people could do to help them develop and elevate?
For me, it's loving being in here. You have to be able to commit to understanding that you only get better in practice than in games. You don't get better in games. Okay. Right? I learned that from going to a football visit and say, like, football players get out of shape during games because they're not working on what they need to do to get better in games. Right. So having a love for being in here, willing to be coached, willing to kind of push, and it's hard because this, you know, we always say that this generation has brittle ears or whatever the case may be, but to show them what hard work looks like and to model it in different ways, right? That could mean asking Cole to come into a middle school workout and just working out with them. Right. I did that recently last weekend with a alum of ours. I said, yo, you're home for break, come and work with these middle school guys and show that the pace really needs to be. Right. And instead of coming from me, it came from one of them when he saw that the middle school guys were received differently. You just have to be, and then as a program director, it's like figuring out how best ways to kind of show them what it looks like, what they're doing, and what they need it to look like. Okay. So with middle school, what I've been doing over the last couple of years is start doing film study sessions with them, or have the games taped, have the films broken down, and then show them what their actual performance is. Because now I don't have to go through the conversation of, you didn't box out. Yes, I did. Film said differently. Yeah, and film don't lie. That's what my coach told me. Numbers and film. And then show them, okay, because you didn't do that, look what happened on the next play. Right. So now the conversation is different. So because now that's how I immediately hold them accountable, and I haven't had those conversations anymore about convincing them about whatever. So I'm literally showing it to them. Yeah. So I have to show, and there'll be a point in time where I say, I'm no longer coaching your effort. That's so if you're gonna sit right next to me, or you're not coming. Yeah. Don't be surprised. Right. So a lot of that is just kind of instilling that and showing the behaviors of that. And then, you know, as our jobs as directors, part of our job as directors is to coach the coaches. So if I'm sitting here and I don't see a coach doing those behaviors, I have to find a way to then correct that behavior in the coach. Not necessarily embarrassing them or whatever, but pulling them aside and say, you need to do this drill this way because then it shows this. Right. You need to work on this scheme, or this lineup doesn't work because of that. Things that you can do in middle school doesn't translate to high school. But if our middle school coaches or any coach doesn't understand what translates to the next level, I can't prepare them now. So, I mean, the whole thing about it, in my perspective, is having that intentionality and making sure everybody's understanding. Like, I have to start teaching certain college-type principles in whatever version that can be listened to and heard at that level, and figure out how to make that happen.
I'm gonna ask you this much: what's fun for you? like Like you guys are some serious guys.
Right now?
Like this is serious, man. This is like I feel like let me tell you what I feel like right now. I feel like I'm ready for PSA. I feel like, you know what I mean, I can run the one, you know what I mean, I can guard, you know what I mean, I can set
play nice with others?
Yeah. I feel like I want to go to class. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
you want to do something when you get there? Or you just want to be in the class?
I'm gonna be first. This is what I teach my kids. Sit in the front,
participate,
and be there on time. That's gonna get you to at least 65. In the front, every day. Effort,
right, sir.
Effort and intentionality. So, what's fun for you though? Like, what do you enjoy about this process amongst all of the other stuff?
I enjoy manipulating the game.
Okay.
Understanding what we're up against. It's like a Rubik's Cube in a sense, right? How fast can you do that Rubik's Cube, and then once you do it, you put it to the side and look for something else that's challenging. So we're always guys that are constantly looking for challenges. So once we've mastered, like, we don't necessarily need to go on the circuit too much to get 10 kids in college right now, right? We kind of figured out what a Division I kid looks like, both on and off the court, and the network based in which we've built over the years. I think it's the fruits of our labor. We know how to make it work. Right. But then how do you change the rules of the game we playing? How do you do things that is just separate from everyone else? Like the combine that we do with the New York Jayhawks, right? How do you do that and say, okay, well, this just became a live period. We created another live period for our kids, right? You go back to when we was doing the circuits in the gym, when guys was 7th grade doing stations, right? But I think for me, it's always figuring out, all right, this is what they think is the end. I'm pushing it further. We're gonna change the goalposts. And when we do that, we're gonna teach our kids the game, right? How many people have conversations with their kids about why all these college coaches are here, how much they're paying for the packet, and how much this tournament is making off for you physically being on the basketball court? These are conversations we having, right? To let them know, all right, you guys go to Division I and your team makes the tournament, there's a bonus for your coach. So you
in the school?
In the school, right? And TV revenue. We in the airport, we talking about this. We in the hotel rooms, we talking about, we don't got no cell phone. So what are we talking about? We're not talking about little Uzi, right? So I think for us, it's learning how to play the game, master the game, and then change the rules of the game. And that's what makes me excited, right? When we're able to do something that no one has done. We gotta constantly do something that's never been done. Even if you fall on your face, I'm cool with that.
You can't make a shot you don't take.
There you go. So we're cool with that, and we're like you said, trendsetters. But you're a trendsetter in a game that's been going on forever.
We're like, man, these are the rules.
Stick to it.
So hold on a second. These are the rules, and this is PSA.
Yeah, don't go outside. Don't color outside the lines. We're like, what? This looks great, Michelangelo.
Yeah, right.
We're good to go.
Basquiat.
And I think for us, it's always been that of, no, you're not going to tell us what to do. Because when we listen, it's Frank Sinatra to us. We did it our way. The results are there. So if you told a kid, cross on the yellow, and he look on the other side and see 5 pros, he like, nah, I'm crossing on the yellow. Because this is what they saying. But everybody else is saying, no, I'm crossing on the yellow. But we're like, we're independent.
But just to that concept. AI was, that was the one thing he always talked about is, like he stayed true to who he was. Yeah. And what he knew was, you could say whatever you want. Yeah. When I get in between these lines, ain't nothing nobody could do about what I'm about to do.
And this is the thing I want to add that's not traditional, and Jason says that all the time, getting in on the ground floor, being risk takers.
Yeah.
When you win at being a risk taker, people try to emulate the same thing but don't have the blueprint, right? When we did Media Day, people like, Media Day, that's corny. But then you see kids doing the Media Day and now they're in college and they've mastered the art of talking to the media, right? You see when we doing photo shoots, oh, what's that? That's kind of, and then the next thing you see somebody doing photo shoots. When you're doing a combine, people like, how you do that? We want to do stuff first. In this game, to do something first, it's hard. It's hard to find it.
So look, I reached out to you, I want to say it was about maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
And what we wanted to do was we wanted to get the directors of New York City in a platform and speak together. And you know what I got? Nobody can do that.
Why?
No, look. This is the feedback that I got.
When you ask me, I'm in.
Yeah. I spoke to Dana, and shout out to all the people I spoke. I spoke to Jay David. I spoke to Andy Borman. I spoke to the gentleman from New Heights. Adam. I spoke to Adam. And everybody was in, right? Now the schedules didn't work, and that's something that I still would like to do. So when you speak to being first to market, groundbreakers, trendsetters, that's 1,000% me. And because people said I couldn't do it,
I did it.
That was the reason. So I'm gonna speak to all of y'all individually, and we're gonna get back together.
No, I mean, I think, but to your point, it's not like the idea is bad, but if the environment isn't different. The environment isn't ready for what you want to do. Sometimes you can't get it done.
Right.
So the goal is either I gotta make the environment ready.
Yep.
Right. I gotta prep it, or I gotta create. It's like Wolf of Wall Street, right? Sell me this pen.
Yeah.
I gotta create a need for it so that everybody want to do it.
Right.
Right. So a lot of it is just like we were talking about. Like, if I'm gonna fall forward. I'd rather fall forward.
Right.
Because at least I'm trying to make something work. And even if I fail, at the end of the time, I took the shot. 9 times out of 10 is, and what's interesting for me, is particularly because I'm at the middle school level, I don't travel, so I'm here more. I hear all of it more.
Yep.
So it's aggravating at certain points to see like people just the peanut gallery and want to critique and whatever, but they're not the ones making the decisions to even try to put it out there. There are things that we talk about, that we argue about all the time, like there are different areas that I want to go into.
Healthy discussions.
Healthy discussions.
Healthy discussions.
Right. And the thing is, at the end of the day,
we're trying to be great.
We're trying to be great. So at the end of the day, if Munch comes up with an idea, right? I remember one time we were going back and forth, and I stopped and I was like, "Why do you think that?" And he stopped. He was like, "You know what? Thank you for saying, because no one really asks me why I think that." They just fight the idea. So now I was like, and I didn't agree with the idea at all. I was like, well, help me understand what you're looking at that you derived to that decision.
Yeah.
So then now, I still may not agree with it, but I understand it better. Too many people, whether it's ego, maturity, whatever the case may be, like Abraham Lincoln said a quote, and he was like, that person rubbed me the wrong way. I have to get to know them better, right? So if you rub me the wrong way, it has nothing to do with that person. There's something about it that I have to get to know them better to figure out whether or not it's true or not. Because there may be a perception thing, or it's like, all right, I get what we're here. That's why we're here.
That's why we're
here.
At
the end of the day, it's not about me. Like, we can either be nostalgic, and talk about the days of yore, right? Or we can be legacy builders and just go and fight through it and figure out what's what. Like, at the end of the day, I want the program. And we talk about this all the time. We be like, in a situation, we're like, the legacies that are being created. Cole may go up, like, because for me, it's interesting for me because I know the journey that we had with him. So like Mo Bamba, for example, like to see him now as an express model and all this other different type of stuff, and he's doing a great job out in Orlando and stuff. But to know that that's a kid that from Harlem on 112th and Lenox or whatever, and then know that journey. Is like he's created a path for himself that he may have gotten to in some way before, but he got it in a very, he did it the right way. Quality kid, and a high character kid. The stuff that he saw in the shop, we were talking about him being eccentric because he had other tests, but he's a smart kid. Like outside, like he was going to make it at whatever school off of his intellect alone anyway. Yeah. It just happens that he's 6'11" with God-given abilities and whatever. Right. But if you don't constantly look for people to kind of groom you and be around those people that's successful and willing to push and encourage you to think outside the box a little bit, and then we're also naturally like tinkers when it comes to that. Like I did consulting for 12 years before I even started coaching. Okay. So my job is to try to figure out how to make that thing that's relatively effective better. Right. So if I find out that I've peaked in somewhere, I was like, all right, I got to move on from something else. Whatever, we naturally are just like that. And we've been blessed to be around other people that think that way. Or if Munch sees me acting comfortable, he's gonna pull my coattail and be like, I'm comfortable, right? It helps us be better. So, but that's what the programs across the city particularly needs is like, if I can help, I will. But I have to be able to trust, and you understand it's like that good nature, like, yo, we're all doing this because at the end of the day, the adults got their degrees, the adults got their jobs or whatever. It's the kids that have the most impact. It has the most impact on. But if we keep on focusing on, and I mean like the adults in the game, on our own selfish interests and our ego and crying for attention because for whatever reasons we're not grounded in ourselves, That's what makes it hard.
I've been educated. I've gotten enlightened on your program and you two gentlemen as people. I feel like today we got closer to a solution in terms of getting information out there for all of the people who are within the reach of this viewership. I feel like you guys are obviously groundbreakers and trendsetters, and you're pushing the platform forward, as you said. So I want to make it clear that New York City basketball is not in dire straits. We have people who understand the platform and are willing to work to make it better. With that being said, I want to say thank you for taking the time. You guys, wish you all of the best success as you embark on your AAU season and many other outside the box, outside the coloring book.
It's going to be a couple things.
I was watching an interview with Ron the other day. He's like, yeah, I got this thing that's coming up. Yeah. And you know what I mean? I can't say nothing right now.
That's where we at. That's where we at.
That's
where we at. I want to say 3 different things that haven't been done.
Okay.
I mean, 1 in our program, and 2, I think, in New York City. You know, that I think is gonna it's gonna make some people upset.
If they can understand it, like Jason said, they won't be upset if they can figure out how they can emulate it and maybe do something similar or something creative in their own right. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what this is really about, in terms of my perspective, it's really about how do you use what you have, not what I have, to do something for the kids that you impact and affect.
It's your boy Munch Williams, bottom to the top. Follow, be a part of, make it work.